96.7 KCAL rocks. It is time to do some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Yo, Patrick, listen, what alternate reality, what multiverse are we living in right now when Minnesota and Oklahoma City might actually meet in the Western Conference Finals in the NBA playoffs? It's just crazy because, we have been for so long trained that, the Lakers, the San Antonio Spurs, there's certain teams, the Golden State Warriors, of course, and their dynasty, that we're just trained to be like, okay, they're going to be in the finals or going to be in the mix for the finals. But these young, up-and-coming NBA teams from literally out of nowhere, they got good right overnight. And now it sure looks like Minnesota and Oklahoma City will probably meet in the Western Conference Finals. Denver's going to have a hard time battling back against this Timberwolves team who really has a good young core.
Boy, are you right with that keyword young. My goodness, it is like Skid Row says, youth gone wild. All these young teams are kicking some ass. I think we do have to finally realize, because we're just so used to LeBron always being in the finals. I mean, we nearly had a decade where he was in the finals, but eventually he is human. But you're right, these young teams, I mean, the Knicks, the Thunder, the T-Wolves, the youth is going bananas right now and playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, I would even throw, we're all hyped on the Clippers, right? With Kawhi and Paul George, and they brought in James Harden, and there was a lot of chatter about the Phoenix Suns and how good they were going to be, with their big three. But it's these young guys who, again, it just feels like overnight, these teams got really great. And it sure looks like Oklahoma City and Minnesota will meet in the Western Conference Finals, assuming that they hold on. But it's just weird to be here on this Thursday morning saying the Timberwolves and the Thunder are the two best teams right now in the West.
Yep, it is wild, man. But here we go, I guess. Somebody's got to eventually take over, and it looks like they're ready to do that.
Yeah, it sure does. And over in the Eastern Conference, again, what multiverse are we living in where the New York Knicks look like they're on pace to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? The Knicks have not been good or relevant since they had those battles against, Reggie Miller and the Pacers like in the mid-'90s. It's been a long time.
It really has, and especially with that one of their really good players, Randall, being out. I mean, we know him because he's the former Laker.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Brunson just taking that team and putting it on his back. It's pretty incredible.
It is super incredible. And that's a great point. Julius Randle was probably maybe their best player until Brunson emerged, and now he's like their second best player, and he's been out, and they're still winning out in the East. I know, Indiana is good, a good young team, but I think they're going to get past the Pacers. Of course, Boston is that big monster they'll have to get past if they want to make it to the NBA Finals. But the fact that the Knicks are even in this position, I'm like, what happened? Where are we? Milwaukee was supposed to be really good, and they're gone. And Miami Heat are always strong in the playoffs, and they're bounced. So it's just a weird NBA playoffs for me right now.
And we're going to kind of we're finding out how these matchups match up. I mean, look how quickly we went from the Denver. I mean, they look like the team, and I'm not saying it's over, but it does look like Denver could get taken out here. It's very surprising to Anthony Edwards. My goodness.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards, a.k.a. Ant-Man, as they like to call him. If they take out the defending champions, Denver looked great in that series against the Lakers, and I probably would have picked the Nuggets, to beat Minnesota. But again, it's just so crazy that Minnesota is so young, maybe so naive. Like they don't even know what's the importance of this series, but they're just going out there and playing basketball. So maybe that's a good thing for them.
Right, and you see the frustration on the Denver, too, and that's where I think they're showing a crack in the facade. Jamal throwing a heat pack, throwing stuff onto the court. I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, it's wild. But Denver, again, defending champions, I feel they're going to put up a fight. It's going to be a battle here. It's just crazy that we're talking about Oklahoma City and Minnesota, who've been doormats for a while, as two of the best teams in the Western Conference, if not the two best. One of those teams will probably be in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Wild. Maybe against the Knicks. Who knows? Like, what world are we living in right now?
Where are we?
One other NBA note. We did learn yesterday that Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic is your NBA MVP for the third time in his career. In fact, the third time in the last 4 years. So just so you know where this kind of stacks up, everybody. LeBron has 4 MVPs. Jordan has 5. Kareem has 6. But Jokic now has 3 in just the last 4 years. It's incredible.
He really is a great player, and I'm glad they're acknowledging it. And I kind of wish they would almost, maybe do this before the playoffs or after the playoffs. I'm not sure which one works better because now we're kind of seeing maybe Denver like starting to fail a little bit. So it makes you think like, oh, he doesn't deserve the MVP. It makes you forget how great he was all season long. It's almost like I wish they would get the voting in a little bit earlier, right at the end of the regular season before we go into the playoffs, so it doesn't get tainted by those playoff performances.
Patrick, I am with you 100%. Either do it right when the regular season ends or wait until the entire year is over to see how it all plays out, especially during the playoffs, because if you're the MVP, what matters the most is the championship, right? Like, who's going to lead their team to the championship, not who had the most regular season wins. We've found out that doesn't mean anything anymore. So either just do it right at the end of the regular season or wait until the whole thing is over to see how the playoffs play out.
Because they love saying it's a regular season award. It's like, okay, well, then do it right there at the end before the playoffs start. And then you can't start all this other stuff because it starts tainting it. You can't help it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. That totally makes sense. Congrats to Jokic. Let's talk a little NFL as well, Patrick. People are still talking about the roast of Tom Brady, and it was hilarious, but it was brutal. Like, everything was fair game. They went after everyone. They talked about everything, and I guess Giselle, the ex-wife of Tom Brady, not very happy about all the jokes poked at her.
Right. I mean, I think like, okay, Tom decided to do this, but I don't know if he thought about, I think she's thinking about the children and herself a little bit. She got roasted hardcore.
Yes.
I mean, my goodness. So she's taking bullets for what he did. I'm hoping that he maybe at least gave her a heads up that this is coming. And maybe they thought that it wouldn't be that gnarly, but there was definitely some very cringe-worthy moments with that whole thing. But I think it's in a good way. It's kind of nice to see something not so politically correct. Nevertheless, there were some moments where it's like, ooh.
Yeah, can you imagine she's on, Netflix looking for, Coco Melon or something like that. And she's like, oh, what's this? Roast of Tom Brady? Oh, kids, get on the couch. Let's watch this for a second.
I'm just wondering if she knew it was coming but didn't expect it to be, oh.
Brutal, yeah. It was hilarious, but brutal. Yeah, but she's apparently, reportedly, very upset about it all. Also, NFL, this time of the year, it's those rookie mini camps. And most teams across the NFL are having their rookie mini camps Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not all, but most. So a lot of your favorite teams and your favorite, guys who just got drafted like 2 weeks ago, you actually get to see them in their new team's uniforms. Of course, we'll talk about our guy Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. But yeah, this is the first time we'll get to see them on the field running around.
Right. It's kind of like this reminds me of last year where I remember hearing about Puka Nacua and thinking like, oh, who's this kid, right? How's he going to do? And I mean, look what happened. You never know. These rookies seem to be more plug and play than ever before. Puka, the greatest example.
Yeah, the Rams sure look like geniuses, right? Getting Puka Nacua. You pair him with Cooper Kupp, and I don't know if there's a better 1-2 receiving tandem in the entire NFL. So, yeah, I mean, if you're an NFL fan, really your season starts now because you get to see these rookies. And, hey, are they going to be, like you said, plug and play? Are they going to make a big impact right away on their teams?
Man, we get to see what happens. That's why we talk to our guy, Pep. My goodness. Come Monday, we'll have more to talk about, of course. Maybe even some more Tom Brady fallout. It seems to be that's the way it's going. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
I'm waiting for the roast of Patrick coming up.
Yes. Many things to talk about.
Yes. Get my stuff on Inland Sports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel as well. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.